All right. So, good morning once again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this Crack and Conquer FICO interview sessions. Today, let's understand about what exactly we need to be aware whenever you are attending for an interviews, right? Whenever you are trying to attend an interview. So most of you might have already attended some interviews, one interview, two interviews, or more than one. You might understood some challenges. What kind of challenges you are facing is something important for us to know, or which is going to help to plan for a better, which means whenever you are going to attend for the next interview, you need to correct yourself and then attend your next interview accordingly, which is going to be helpful, right? For that, you need to understand what exactly the mistakes that we are doing it. And even before that, we will understand few more points, what exactly the preparation is supposed to be. Make sure you have this strategy to crack your next interview easily. See, most of us might completed training. That's a very basic thing which is required for all of us. Even though you completed a basic training, and I don't want to name any particular trainer here, right? See, depending on how you got it trained from that trainer is also matters. So the perspective you received from them, the way they shared the content is also matters. Altogether, irrespective from which trainer you learned, now we need to make sure what is my project requirement, how should I be able to handle that project is most important. You need to make sure you can handle any sort of project tomorrow when you get into that roles. That is the main purpose why your screening, the interviews also happens in the same level. Whenever you are attending any interviews, they'll also ask a lot of things, particularly to test your knowledge, where you are standing, what kind of knowledge you possess, whether you will be in a position to handle certain things or not. Whenever you wanted to understand this, whenever you wanted to see or for the panel to understand whether you are a right fit or not to manage their project. So they would be interested to know what is your current skill set, what are the things that you can manage it. For us to get into these points, how can you manage the project? First of all, let us understand whenever you are attending an interview is a first step for your career. Whenever once you complete all your training, preparation, everything, will start appearing for an interviews. The moment you appear for an interview, so you will face certain questions from a panel depending on that short time frame, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or a 1 hour max is what your panel last. During that panel time, how confidently you are able to answer their questions. What are the examples that you are quoting during the interview process is going to make a difference. They will judge based on the examples that you are quoting, the clarity that you are giving about the topic or the question that they are asking will give them an impression what level of knowledge that you possess. So, what you need to understand here is whenever you attend any interview, irrespective of it's a small company or a big company or a big force or a whatever. So make sure you make certain notes after immediately after the interview. Don't miss this. You attend interview today, immediately when you disconnect the call, if you want to take a quick break for a 2 to 5 minutes for a personal stuff, take it, but don't delay further that. Immediately after that a call or an interview happens, you make sure you try to list it down all the questions whichever has been asked. First thing that you need to do, irrespective whether you've been selected or not selected, or on spot, you may not get to know the decision. It's a common uh, standard practice across the industry that you will hear, though you ask the panel what is the next steps or whether I selected or not, whether am I fit or not, they may not answer on straightforward on the same call. They will tell you our panel will come back to you or our HR team will let you know on the further steps, right? Isn't it the same common dialogue all of us hear from the HRs? For that, what we need to understand here is first make sure immediately after the interview, you prepare the list of questions has been asked to you. First thing you prepare these questions, which is going to serve you as a guide for the next time. Against those questions, try to see how many areas that you are able to answer very confidently, irrespective whether that is a whether they accepted the answer or not. According to you, at least as per your level of preparation, whatever you know. And let's say they asked for a 20 questions. Out of 20 questions, how many questions you are able to answer confidently? Those things are anyway areas which you are already comfortable with. Those areas you can keep aside for a while. And the remaining areas, wherever you are fumbling, not able to answer straight away, or you are not able to recollect the good example, or the T code, or a table name, or it can be anything, or the scenario, whatever you faced earlier, if you are not able to recollect, those are your focus areas now to start looking into it. If you are able to write it down, all your interview questions first, and judge yourself, what is your self assessment for that? Prepare your self assessment and see where you are standing, whether you can expect a call back from your panel or a HR or not. You will only can make out to some extent some judgment. That is something required for us as well to judge where am I standing about this interview. Now, in that process, you will understand why do many people fail in interviews. So that is where the first step you will understand why people will fail. So whenever you are attending interviews, let's say, let me tell you this way, interviews, you will see a lot of people will feel that they failed in that particular interview. Whenever you see this, you failed in interview. So why we fail? So you need to understand why people will fail. The first thing why people will fail in to understand is it's first thing is it's a lack of preparation, I would say. You have not prepared to the extent what your panel is expecting. According to that, if you have prepared, you could have managed it, or you could have uh, performed at least to meet their expectation. If you are not excel, or you are not able to uh, exceed their expectation, if you can meet at least their expectation, which is a more than enough. So first thing what you need to make sure, the preparation. How to prepare, what are the things to be prepared, we'll discuss in a while. But first thing what you need to understand, whenever you attend an interview and try to put all those questions in a paper and try to understand how much you are confident, how many questions you are able to answer confidently will tell you your preparation levels. First, you need to know your preparation level, where you are standing. That is something many people are missing. Because of that, they are not able to crack the interviews. That's one reason. Certainly, we need to keep in mind always and make sure always you need to assess your preparation levels. This is possible in a two ways. One, you need to perform your self assessment. You are the person who knows about yourself better, no one else. And you need somebody who can judge your skills. You need to ask somebody to give you that feedback. Where are you standing? The person, whoever is going to provide you this feedback, is supposed to be a right person. You can't ask somebody, whoever is working in a different industry, or you can't go and ask somebody who is your neighbor. You can't go and ask your one of your classmates, right? So this person supposed to be a right person who already possess good amount of knowledge in that area, and this person can also give you the right feedback. That is most important. If you ask something to someone, they might tell you it is very nice. The simple word of very nice gives you happiness, but that is not the actual expectation or what I need. If they simply say that it is very good, very nice, that is not going to help me to crack my next interview. What I need to make sure is I need to make sure what are my weak areas, what are the areas that I need to improve at, so that next interview I can crack very easily. That's what you need a feedback. Who can give you this feedback? Only the person who knows about that concept or the overall thing, whatever you are trying to assess, not only FICO thing, or it can be anything in the world, right? If you are preparing for one of your civil services exam also, you need to go and talk to the person who is good at civil services related stuff. Only those people can guide you in a right manner. Whenever you talk to a person who is completely disconnected with that process or that segment or that area, they may not be able to give you that right direction or right information about it. So there is no point you go and ask such people. what you need to do is you need to check with the people whoever has that good amount of knowledge. Only then you get a right feedback. That is also most important. Make sure you do your self assessment as well, and you talk to the people who are experts in that industry, who can guide you in a right direction, who should tell you your areas of improvement with transparent. There is no bias. Maybe the person who likes you much may not share all your weakness. The person whoever likes you so much will tell you only your strengths. Not talking about weakness will not help you. Knowing more about your weakness in that particular interview process will help you to develop the remaining things. That is something that we need it. That is what we need to be aware. For that, first you need to know what is your current level of preparation. For that, you need to have your self assessment. Then you also take a feedback from your experts who can tell you what are the things that you yet to improve. When you know that, you will be able to manage your next interview excuse me, without any challenges. That's what something that we need to do. Now, first thing, now you understood about your preparation level. Apart from preparation level, is there anything else that I need to be aware? Or why people will fail? Let us understand why people will fail. If I want to understand, and then in the next thing, the another step, what I wanted to understand here is whenever I talk about uh, people why they fail. So it's more of like I would say they are not able to explain the concept, though they prepared very well. So first step, when I checked it, like I mentioned, yes, I checked. My preparation is a very good at this moment, but I'm unable to explain this experience, whatever I gained through my previous experience or whatever I prepared. I'm not able to put that topic on the table or not able to discuss with the panel with the right examples. I'm unable to express my opinion or unable to talk what I wanted to convey. It can be a language barrier. Excuse. It can be a language barrier, or it can be a kind of, what do you say? You generally will have that uh, uh, interview fear, right? Whenever you face that interview fear, you will have the butterflies flying in your stomach. So where you are not able to answer certain things whenever they are asking. So that is also another obstacle where you are not able to manage an interview. Or though you know you prepared well, if your friend is asking, you can answer them very well. You can easily manage it. But when in the position of interview, some panel is asking certain questions, you are not able to answer it because you are unable to explain the experience. It can be your project experience or your preparation experience, whatever it may be. So majority of the cases, so the interviews are not like a theoretical questions. They will try to check nowadays the more of practical oriented approach. What is practical oriented approach here? Whether you really have previously worked in a projects or not. Now it is a very quite common that people can easily gain theoretical knowledge, theoretical concept, which is like your what is company code, what is chart of accounts, what is your what do you say, foreign currency revaluation, what is your asset accounting, what is your marginal analysis. Everybody can explain theoretical, but when I ask them configuration, yes, still again people can explain about the configuration. They know the flow, they know how to configure it, they know how to test it, they know how to identify certain errors, so they know how to fix various errors. But the trick is whenever I'm trying to see whether this person can manage my project or not, that is where they check. That is where they try to understand whether you know in a logical manner what happens in actually in a projects. So for example, if I want to talk to you, so all of us might have completed training. Let me assume all 18 participants at this moment in this training has completed FICO training. Now, if I want to know from this person whether this person really worked in a previous project or not, first thing what I'll do is what first thing I'll do is I'll try to test his project skills, which means project experience. Now, let me try to ask him if you have really worked in a previous project. So now you might know what is the first thing that happens whenever you do the configuration. In that matter, I wanted to understand How does a transport movement happens? It's a very simple and question. Those who have seen during your practice days or in your classes, you might have seen how transport request generates. How do you move the transport request from your development system to the production system? This flow you should understand how it happens. If you have really worked in a project, this is what we do there as well. We do the configuration in development system where it generates a transport request number. Then I'll move that to my quality system. Then after testing it, I'll move this to the production system. There is a particular flow. What is your responsibility in that? What exactly you did during transport movement is what they will try to validate one more time to just to understand whether are you comfortable in that uh, overall transport movement process or not. That's where your experience comes into picture, where they can easily judge what level of knowledge you have it. During our training days or a practice days, what you need to make sure, you need to be aware about various practical things. So for that, what you need to make sure, you need to understand what exactly happens in a projects. If you are talking about implementation project, what is the flow of your implementation project? What exactly it happens? That we need to understand. Now, if it is a support project, how the flow happens in a support project? What are the things generally handled in a support project? If it is a testing project, what are the things handled in a support project on testing projects? And if it is implementation project, how is it different from a support project? All this awareness we should have it. If you are not aware how to handle this and how to understand this, that is where people will understand whether you really worked in a previous project or not, right? That is where people can easily judge what is your level of preparation and how confidently you are able to explain the concept. Though you prepared well, you are not able to explain at cases because of confidence levels and also the communication challenges and memory problems. At times, you are not able to recollect the right example for it. So there can be a multiple challenges why you are not able to answer to the question whenever they are asked certain things, right? So it can be, like I mentioned already, the communication levels also a problem, but you need to identify in your whenever you do a self-assessment for yourself, you need to know not only the conceptual level or the business process levels, how confident you are, and other areas also you need to judge yourself where you are currently standing. In case you are finding difficulty to decide yourself or to perform your self assessment and come to a conclusion, what are your weakness areas? What are the areas that you are already good at? And what are the areas that you need to still excel, that you need to make a plan of it? That we will discuss when I talk about the mitigation plan, how you need to plan for the future whenever you are attending for the next interview. Before that, what are the things that you need to do? I'll share that in a while now. So then once you understand why people are failing, it just tells you the reasons. That is the root cause that we are trying to identify. And you will also see what are the reasons that I'm not able to succeed in my interview. That is what you need to judge first. When you are able to make out your problem or able to identify your problem, that is the first place where you will understand how to fix your problem. Now, let's say you identified a problem. Now it is easy for you to work towards it. After identifying, you need to have a proper direction. Some direction, somebody should guide you how to mitigate that. If you are well aware, you know how to mitigate that well and fine. Somebody who is not sure about it, you need some help where somebody should guide you. That person will help you how to mitigate these overall challenges that you are facing. That help you need to take from one of the trusted person who can help you to navigate in your journey. Maybe you need to find a right mentor for yourself. That mentor can guide you with all the journey until you land into your job, or even after landing a job you might need certain support, somebody who need to guide you with a certain things initially. Such mentor you need to find it. Such mentor will help you to make sure until you settle down perfectly, you will be in a confident position to handle the project. If they can guide you, then that will become a smooth journey for you. So majority of the people, whoever is getting trained nowadays, so they don't get this mentoring support. Training everybody can provide. The mentoring support is something that is lacking in your trainings. So you need to find out something where there is a mentoring support available. It is not for the just for a namesake, and you validate and see how they are providing a mentoring support. Are they really providing it or not? And to which extent you can expect it? How many trainers are really responding to your questions whenever you ask for some doubt? Whenever you stuck in your project, you have some question quickly you wanted to check with expert. So first person comes into your mind is your trainer, right? So you text your trainer or you try to call your trainer. They are also busy. They don't respond. Then what is the point that you struck and nobody is there to help you, right? So always make sure you have a trusted person who can help you whenever you struck with, right? That person has to be a knowledgeable person who can help you. That is the first thing that we need to know whenever you assess yourself. What are your pain areas, where you currently struck with, how to navigate from there on, how to navigate from there on. That's a initial game plan that we need to prepare. Once you have that in game plan, and also we need to make sure even after that, so I prepared well, maybe some people prepared well, or somehow somebody get into the jobs. Nowadays people might know about this, so I don't want to encourage in that direction, but people might be following this. Maybe people wanted to get into the roles quickly, so they will approach something called a backdoor options. Why people are approaching backdoor jobs? Because it will become easy for them, or somebody will be looking for a proxy support, which will become easy for them whenever they go for a proxy because they don't want to face it. Why they are approaching again proxy? If you go back to the same point that we discussed, this is the reason. Because lack of preparation, and they are not able to explain the concept that they prepared, or they haven't prepared at all. So they are not in a position to explain it. Now they need somebody who can help them. So I would request all of you, don't go for any of these supports, which is no proxy supports and no backdoor jobs. Don't try for this. That can temporarily help you, but in a long run, people will face the challenges. Now, what kind of challenges you face when the people enter into those two routes, particularly? Let's say, so they are facing a lot of challenges in the project because they don't have proper, I would say, let me say, no proper project understanding. They don't have a proper understanding, or they will not be able to understand the project well because they are already missing certain points. They don't know how to prepare for it or how to handle certain things in a project. So that's where they don't know in which direction to learn the missing things. If somebody is cracking your interview, that person is aware about what is the expectation in that interview. What are they expecting it, right? For you to understand, you need to face your interview. That's okay. You attend 2 interviews or 3 interviews. You are not paying for an interview, right? So that's a part of your preparation. That's okay if it takes 5 interviews or 10 interviews. It is not that everybody has to crack in a first interview, but you can prepare such a way that with a confidence that I can crack in my first interview. That confidence you need to build it. For that, if somebody is helping you, you will not have proper understanding about the project. And once you enter into the project also, you will not be able to manage it easily. There, what happens? You will fail to manage it. You will face a lot of challenges. Whenever you face a lot of challenges, and what happens there? The people will not be able to handle it. They will not have that confidence to handle. Your project manager is also not comfortable to give you the more responsibilities. Then what happens? Eventually, you need to think about it whether I can sustain in that project or not. Let's don't get into that levels. Whenever you are following the different routes than your hard work, then these are the challenges which you will face it. Now, what you need to make sure to manage your project successfully, or those people who are not able to manage successfully, what happens? You might see the firing happens in a project. Most of you might be aware about it. So where people joins in one or the other route, but after 3 months or less than 6 months, they have been fired. Or the people itself voluntarily coming out of from that particular role because they are not able to manage that responsibilities. They are not able to handle that pressure. They feel that as a pressure. They feel that as something new what they are doing it because again, it's lack of preparation. And they don't have proper preparation, so they are facing that challenges now. If your preparation is fine, if your preparation is perfect, then you will not face upcoming challenges, or you will be able to handle upcoming challenges very easily. You will not afraid of them. You can easily handle them. You can easily manage them. That's what we need to gain that confidence during this. And whenever you have this, whenever you see this, people are getting fired, or whenever people are saying that I can't manage this, I don't want to continue the job. Anybody seen this kind of challenges? Any one of this? Somebody who has been fired. I don't want you to share the names, but have you heard about it? Someone from your network or somebody shared that he's not able to manage or his BGV is failed. They have been fired. Even after your BGVs are failed, certain cases, if you are strong enough in your subject, or which means conceptually you are strong, companies, though they are aware you are a fake candidate, but still they don't want to fire you immediately because it has been already committed to the client that this XYZ person is going to support in this project. They need that person. You can't immediately replace them immediately. Whenever, though the HR comes to the manager stating that this person don't have a genuine experience, it is a fake experience, but they will tell you that that's fine, though he is a fake candidate, but my client is more comfortable with him. He's confident. This person can manage my client. Client is also happy with him. Whenever they get that feedback, your position is safe. Nobody can take you out. In other cases, the HR decision is final. They say that as per compliance, if the person is not meeting their compliance requirement, they don't tolerate that. But this is an exception case. Whenever you possess a good amount of knowledge, people would want profiles like that. And if something goes bad, high chances that your client only directly can get in touch with you for to offer you a position. We need you. Okay. So for all that, for us to do that, you need to gain that confidence. That level of preparation, whatever you are doing, should be in that level. Whenever you prepare to that level, you check with your mentor and see what is your current preparation level, to which extent you can manage the project, what kind of projects you can manage after your preparation, and check all that preparation levels where you are standing, which will give you confidence and you can easily plan to attend the next interviews whenever you look into this, right? Now, irrespective of whatever the challenges that you heard. Now, what should be my plan? How should I overcome this? Right? So, whenever you are preparing for the next interviews, without this, you don't even try to attempt an interview. You might had already given enough interviews or at least one or two interviews. So, by that experience, whatever you attended, like I already mentioned, list down all those interview questions, whatever the interviews that you attended. From those interviews, you will get to know how many questions or how many areas or the concepts currently you are comfortable with. That will give you some clue. Depending on that, the remaining areas wherever you are not good at, you need to focus on those areas to develop yourself. Not only the conceptual things, and also the remaining things like your soft skills of the communication skills and the way of explanation. Everything you need to improve it. From the previous interview, we need to improve all this. All this on your own, if you want to improve, may not be possible because you don't know whether you are going in a right direction or not. You may not be able to judge at times whether you improved from last time or not. Someone can tell you easily. Maybe your friend or your mentor or somebody, whoever listening to you closely, multiple times can tell you where you are standing and what are the things that you are not aware, right? So for that reason, what I would say, all of you might be aware about it. Let's try this. So before you attend next interview or before you blame anybody, uh, whenever you attend an interview and stating that panel is not good, they didn't select me, you don't need to blame that. First, blame yourself and start with you and do this activity. try this activity, which is going to help you to make sure next interview you can face confidently, high chances that you can crack also. That you need to follow this SWOT technique. So all of us might be aware, you might have seen this or read about this multiple times, which is a SWOT analysis. So what is this and how do you do? What exactly we need to do it as part of SWOT analysis here is. So which you need to find out first, what are your strengths in this? What are the areas you are already good at? First, you figure out how many areas that you are good at. First, maybe you can, if you want to measure, maybe put some percentage to it, conceptual knowledge. Maybe you list down all your concepts that you are attending. Whenever you are attending an interview, you also need to compare that with a JD, job description, whatever you are applying for it, and see that areas, what are the areas they are expecting. They might tell you 1 to 2 end-to-end implementations is mandatory. When they mention that, you will expect some questions on that for sure. No doubt, no deviation. Because their expectation itself, candidate should be good at implementations, or they should have at least worked in 1 or 2 implementations. That is what they need. Now you need to understand, to match that JD, what is my current level of preparation for that implementation level? What are the things that I can expect? What are the concepts that I need to be aware? It is not just to clear the interview, and it is also to make sure whenever you join in that project, in the next time, you should be able to handle those things, including whatever the task that we prepare or work with that level of experience. Depending on the level of experience that you are applying for, you need to decide and see where you are standing. At times, our resume looks very nice. It is already showing a high weightage, but if you don't have the similar weight knowledge, there is no point. By looking into the resume, they can screen you for the interview. You will be called for a panel and you are appearing up to the panel. After the panel, if you want to move to the next level, the next step in the process, you need to perform an interview as well, right? So for that, you need to know your strengths first. What are the strengths? Which areas you are already good at? And from there, you will understand, okay, conceptual wise, maybe excuse me, 60% of the concepts I'm comfortable at this moment. And communication wise, maybe I'm currently at only 30% and I still need some more improvement. You no need to become a native speaker in English, right? Or the communication. Communication is all about if you see any interviews happening in SAP FICO, they happens in English language because which is a standard language everybody expects. You might have been trained somebody in your local languages. Your trainer might taught you in a local language because you that depending on various reasons you might had opted that a training in your local language, but that is not bad thing. But you need to make sure you will be able to manage or you will be able to communicate with international participants as well. The consultants who are working from a different country or your business users who are sitting in a different country, you should be able to talk to them. You should be able to understand their concern or the issues or the business requirement. Accordingly, you should be able to proceed further to prepare various documentations and the configurations in the system and test accordingly and move further. For that, you need that good understanding of the concepts along with your communication skills. Communication, when I say not only about the language, language is just a one point that we talk in communication. You need to have a communication skills to convince the other person in your projects. So when I say convince, you no need to convince for your personal things. Whenever you say there are certain things which you need to make them comfortable or tell them how exactly certain functionalities work. About that functionalities, you should be able to convince them. They are not convinced with your example that you are quoting. Your examples that you are quoting supposed to be simple or the more relevant for them to connect with. The example, whatever we are talking, may or may not be the same, or the all business users will be able to catch or understand. Some business users will be able to understand easily. Some business users may not be able to understand your example, depending on their background as well. So whenever you are quoting certain examples, you need to start judging whether are they catching my point or not. If you feel that they are not, try to pick up a different example to explain them about the functionality of that. In your business requirement gathering workshops, what happens whenever you are discussing with your business users, they will explain about their business flow. And as a consultant, whether you understood that concept correctly or not, you need to repeat it and you ask them, okay, hey, thanks for sharing this requirement. However, this is what I understood. Is this my understanding correct? While you are repeating that explanation, you might take one or two different examples to explain the same thing once again. In that case, you need to aware about how to communicate with them, right? The concept that you understood, you should be able to repeat that. Or you have been assigned to a task to complete implementation. You have configured certain business process. Now you have also tested. Now you wanted to give a demo to your business users. They call you for a demo, it's not simply that you share your screen and you start inputting the details. That may not work. While from the moment you start meeting them, you need to talk, talk, and you need to have that conversation connectivity and explain them what you are doing. Every step you need to explain why you are doing it, what will happen. So, what are the things, where are the things that can go wrong, positives and negatives, everything you need to talk about that concept. Maybe the configuration, the output you are expecting. So, what are the things that you are expecting? The more you explain, the more they will get it. If you don't talk and you simply give a presentation to them, they will ask you a lot of questions and you may not be able to answer certain things. If you are able to answer, well and good, but don't land in a situation you don't understand what they're asking. For that, you need to be thorough and prepare before you go for that. For that, you need to test multiple times the same functionality and you refer to that standard practices or best practices in the industry so that at least you are aware about the best practices so that you can explain them first, which is the common things. Then if they have any specific questions, they will ask you. This is how you just need to validate your strengths. Once you are validate your strengths, also you need to focus more on your weakness. Your weaknesses, when you are aware about your weakness, what are the areas that you are currently not good at? Or what are the areas that you need improvement? You need to focus on them. List down those areas and see how to overcome them. Whether you need a support from a mentor, accordingly you choose the right mentor. Or if you think that on your own you can make a plan and proceed, still good. Make that plan according to some timelines. You keep some timelines for it and continue from there on. Okay, that's how you need to find out your weakness. And as usual, you need to see your opportunities. Opportunities, when I say opportunity, it is not about job opportunity. It is like what are the opportunities that you have it in by using your strengths and weakness, how you can excel, and what are the opportunities that you can actually accept or not to accept certain things, right? Not each and everything that you will be in a position to handle it. There are some opportunities for you to accept. Maybe in your, let's say, implementation project is one opportunity here. Whenever you join in your project, what kind of opportunity that you wanted to take it, whether it is implementation or a support or a testing or a whatever it may be, depending on your strength and weakness, you need to go with one of these opportunities whenever you have a multiple opportunities to be available. That decision making, you should be able to decide it. Otherwise, let me take anything that comes in that may not be a right opportunity or that's not a right decision. First, you need to be clear. I wanted to land into a particular role. I wanted to land in, let's say, for example, support project now. Later, I'll switch to implementation project. If I get support project, that's my first priority. You need to have your own priority first. Then you decide what next, how to do that, or which one you wanted to move later. Now, you also need to know the threats. If you accept certain opportunities, what are the things you might be expecting in a project? So, what are the threats which will not allow you to grow? So, because of your communication challenges or the subject deep knowledge that you possess, you need to judge whether the opportunity that you accepted has any threats, whether including growth, or it can be loss of job, or it can be anything. These things that you need to be aware. First, you need to prepare yourself and try to understand where you are standing currently. Again, this is inbuilt by default as a part of your preparation levels. Whenever you are doing your self assessment of your preparation, you include this SWOT technique and you perform. It is not a separate activity that you need to do it, but by default, you need to aware about this. Something not we need to measure this separately, but you need to be aware. So, how to understand your current preparation levels? What are the next steps for me to proceed if I wanted to improve myself? That is what you need to be aware. Now, whenever you wanted to when after understanding this, if you are working on your plan, so you need to have your smart plans for your uh, next level of preparation. I would say have your smart goals. Having your smart goals will help you. What is smart goals? So just like your SWOT analysis, the SMART is also each letter stands for some specific things. But to make it simple, let's don't get into too much of theoretical of your SMART goals and everything. As you guys might be aware about what are goals, you need to have a clear goal. By next 3 months, or a next 2 months, or a next 1 month, I wanted to land in FICO role. That's supposed to be your goal. For that, what should be your next steps? You need to prepare in such a way that practice daily without missing. You need to practice every day without miss. Whatever the areas that you initially identified, wherever you have little, what do you say? You are not confident about it. Whatever the areas that you identified as your improvement opportunities or the areas that you wanted to improve, focus on them and practice daily. And while practicing, make sure you don't refer to the random videos. Don't go to the random videos and the random content either in a YouTube or wherever. You make sure from whatever the source that you have selected, that source is the good source for you to cover all the points, all the topics, all the content. If you go with a random content, what happens? The from trainer to trainer, the style or approach might be different. If you are not able to follow their approach or the style, it will simply delay your goals to up reach. Simply you've been following one particular trainer this many days, you understood their pattern, what they are teaching in their overall videos, you know which topic is covered where, which is easy for you to refer. If you are suddenly going for a random topic, maybe YouTube, make sure you are in a position to understand the concept without any confusions. If you refer to the new content and you confuse, and what will happen? It will damage your already previous understanding concept. If you get into that mode, it will become difficult for you to come back again. So before getting into such content, make sure whether that content is going to help you or not. Only then you refer to such content. Not you can't take any content that comes on your way. So if you are in a position to judge whether that content is really good or not, only then go for it. If you are not sure about it, be careful before you try to apply practically. Whenever you are applying that knowledge, whatever you gain from that content, make sure whether that is right approach or not, whatever you are doing it. Okay. And while you are practicing, make sure you are not alone practicing. When I say not alone, you need to have a group of people which is just like you, whoever is preparing for it, whoever is preparing for interviews, whoever is getting ready for a next project move. You need to have your association with the like-minded people. Only then you can have a daily goals. You set daily goals, and you both or a group of people discuss about certain topic, and you prepare on it. When you meet, maybe tomorrow or a day after tomorrow, you set your regular intervals to meet. Maybe daily, few minutes, or alternative days, or at least 3 times in a week. You set that schedule and meet with those forum and discuss whatever you understood about that topic and ask them to share their opinion and their learnings and understanding about the same topic. Restrict your conversation only to that topic whenever you are having this conversation and understand from a different perspectives. and bring different scenarios so that you will understand good points that you're supposed to aware about the project. Let's say, for example, how does implementation projects work? How does whenever there is any new requirement in a business, how does that customization happens? How does this customization happens in a cloud projects? How does this happens in your on-premises project? How does this happens again either in a private or a public cloud? This kind of topics you pick up, any topics, not simply that basic configuration. I believe all of you might be aware about the basic configurations. In case somebody who is not yet completed your basic training, so maybe you need to find your right trainer who can help you with that. So you make sure you spend good amount of time to understand the concepts and go through all the conceptual knowledge along with the business processes and some project related trainings whenever you are opting for it. So you should not land in a situation where after completing the training, you should not opt again for a project training. So that's unnecessarily taking extra time and money both for you, right? In what if you can get everything at one place? That's what you need to be aware. So try to research for such trainers where you can get all that knowledge from one place, which is more easy for you also to connect with the same trainer and clarify all your doubts. And your journey will become also very smooth. That's what we need to make sure. So you practice with a group of people and discuss the topics with them regularly and whatever you are discussing. Maybe you need to list down all those important topics apart from the basic configuration levels. What are the things that we need to be aware? Those topics you experiment. Maybe you experiment from your side and the other person also experiment. All your experimentation results, the outputs and the expectations, and what anybody should be aware regarding to that topic, you guys can discuss in that common forum whenever you meet. Whenever you have this, what happens? That will enhance your understanding about the concept. Whenever you prepare yourself, that will give you maybe 30 to 40% of understanding about the topic. Whenever you want to work as a consultant, the 30-40% is not at all sufficient. The expectation from the business is whenever I talk about some requirement, as a consultant, how better you can provide suggestions, how better you can provide us solutions. That is what your business users will expect. For you to provide the solutions, you need to have more knowledge. You need to be aware more about it. How do you gain this more knowledge? Only with the help of more discussions. When you have more discussions with the like-minded people, again, the people also similar like you who are preparing seriously. If somebody who is preparing casually, they may not be able to contribute for these conversations. Make sure you have such serious people only in your group while practicing it. Irrespective from wherever you completed a training, you try to find like-minded people and one group and you frame your groups and you can discuss about those topics. Every day you discuss some topics so that it will gain more confidence. You will understand different perspective and you can easily manage in a projects also. That's what we need to start doing. Okay. So first thing what you need to do whenever you are doing this, the few things for you to tell, you need to gain confidence. Gain confidence in any topic that you are going to explain during your practice days and also in interviews also. You need to have that confidence to explain any topic that you prepare. If you are not prepared, that is okay. So that whatever you prepared, you should be confident enough to explain to anybody, whether it's a panel, your friend, or someone else. Okay. So that's what we need to be aware. Then what we will do is we need to aware about uh, you will be in a position to handle the projects as well. Okay. Handle projects. You need to gain during this phase. Handle project with client facing skills as well. What is client facing skills here again? Like I mentioned, not just your theoretical preparation, and also you need to be aware how to handle the clients. There are certain situations. So clients, your business users, they are expecting something in their requirement, whether you understood or not. In case you don't understood their requirement completely, maybe your understanding itself is completely different. In that case, what do you do? How do you handle it? So how do you manage them? So though you are not aware about it, what exactly you're supposed to be aware? and what you are supposed to explain to them. If you are not clear also, you need to have that skills to convince them to explain what they are expecting, versus at least you can give them a confidence that I can deliver this in couple of hours, or maybe by today or tomorrow. Something like that. You need to help your clients, or you need to handle your clients and tell them, give me some time so that I can come back to you. Those skills, those soft skills we need to develop. Otherwise, what happens, irrespective whether you are excellent in the subject, still you will not be able to sustain that, because it is difficult for you to manage if you don't have this smart skills as well. You need to start developing this kind of skills as well slowly. So you need to make sure, prepare along with confidently to handle your clients also with the client facing skills. Then you will become project ready consultant. I would call you as project ready consultant. If you become project ready consultant, then that is where it will help you to easily manage anything that comes in your way. So that's what you need to know. Now, what we can do is here, whenever you are preparing in your journey, it is not just like you might have registered for this session to understand. In 1 hour, you will not be able to understand everything to how to crack an interview. Still, a lot of things that we need to develop, depending on individual person to person. What are the challenges that you are facing? We need to understand your actual challenges, and we need to have an action plan how to mitigate that. You might need some guidance with a mentor, or you might have certain questions to clarify. Maybe you need to hold somebody your hands for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or 1 or 2 months until you crack your interview. That is what you might be expecting. So for that, what I have designed here is, so I'm going to cover in our upcoming trainings, so which is going to be a paid training program. So for you to make a project ready consultant, with to bring you that confidence and also to make you project ready person. In this training, we are not going to discuss about anything related to the configuration. Configurations are something that the basic things that we need to be aware. Somebody who has already completed a basic training and but preparing for interviews and not sure how to crack my interview. That is first category of the people who can opt for this. And second category, somebody who might be already in a project and not sure how to move from one project to other project. They are struggling, or in their current project, they are able to not able to manage certain things. Though we've been there in the industry, might be there are people who are been working in a 3 years, 5 years, or more than 5 years. Still, they are not able to manage certain things because it's not their fault. Because the opportunity that we get in our projects is a very limited. Whenever you are working in any project, you have a very limited scope, limited access, and a limited responsibilities. With that, you will not be able to work on everything. But I wish I wanted to work, but I don't get that opportunity. Your senior consultants and the organization structure or the hierarchy, how it is, that may not allow you to work, or may not allow you to take up more responsibilities. That will also a hindrance for you to gain more knowledge. Somebody whoever is already there in a projects. So the criteria here, I would say, for the people who already completed the basic training, including where you know about how to configure company code, how to configure various business process, like your AP, AR, or any other asset accounting, all these things. If you are aware about it, how to do this, then the remaining training is what we need to understand. Even after knowing everything, it is not possible for everybody to crack the interview. Though you crack it, it is not easy for you to handle the project. So those gaps, whatever has been not covered in your regular trainings, irrespective of whoever it may be the trainer, you feel that there are some gaps. It can be any gap apart from that actual configurations. Configuration is something anybody can easily do it with a proper defined steps. But here there is something that you need somebody to share their experience, somebody to guide you about the actual trainings, sorry, actual project, or real time stuff, what happens in inside. That knowledge, somebody who is looking for it after your training, and somebody who is planning to switch in projects, either within the project or somebody who is facing challenges in the project to handle. So those are the two major criteria of people who is looking for this training is going to be helpful. What we will do in next program is, in this program, we are going to cover in detail about, let's say, we cover particularly the interview preparation strategy is something that everybody should be aware. I would cover about interview preparation strategy in which, one second. Your interview preparation strategy, how to prepare for your next interview is what I'm going to share you some tips, including in case you need a help with the resume preparation also, we can help you with the resume preparation as part of your interview preparation. And we will also cover about how your implementation project happens. What are the responsibilities you are going to handle in implementation project? What are the things that you're supposed to know in an implementation project? We'll cover all this implementation project related stuff. And also we will cover about support project. So what are the things handled in a support project? What are the ticketing tools used? What are the critical tickets, or how do you categorize the tickets? What is SLA is all about? So what is the approach whenever you receive any ticket? How do you fix that? Fixing is maybe the part of your configuration, but you need to understand that root cause, why that problem is happening. That's the most important thing. In most of the trainings, you may not get it. If you have already got that, it's a very good and happy to know that. But majority of the trainings, you may not get that. That is one of the gaps where you are appearing for an interview and you face a lot of challenges. Okay. And we'll also do our rollout projects, how the rollout project happens, and also we'll focus on testing projects. Along with the rollouts, we'll focus on a testing projects. What are the things that you expect in a testing project? What are the things you need to be aware about it? How to prepare a test cases, how to identify test scenarios, how to document all the test results, what are various testings that we perform, how to work on them. Also, we'll discuss about it. Then we will also understand about the most important thing, your business requirement gatherings, or you will say business requirement workshops. We'll run some workshops, we'll take some workshop, we'll take some scenarios, and we'll divide into different groups, and we will talk about the actual business requirement gathering, how it happens. We'll create the same situation in our training program also. We will take some samples or we'll take some scenarios and we'll try to run workshops and we'll document or we'll prepare various documentations, including your BRD document, business requirement document. And from there on, how do you prepare various KDD documents, KDS documents, and your BPML documents? All that we will discuss in this. Okay. So we'll discuss about these things along with your maybe the most important thing for us to understand the customizations in any project. What is the need for customizations and what are the types of customizations? How do you prepare FSTs? This stuff we will understand. So I'll explain you about all this stuff, those who are interested for this stuff, and you feel that these are my main areas which I'm lacking. If I get this, so I would say that if you have this properly, then you can easily manage in any project irrespective you are already working in a any project as a consultant or you are looking for a consultant role for the first time, you can easily manage it. That's what my confidence, if you have a good understanding about all this. By end of our training, so we are going to cover all this, which will take approximately a 1.5 months, which means approx 30 to 40 hours time frame is what it requires, which we are going to cover. What we will do in our upcoming sessions, we are going to cover this in, like, let's say for example, the duration is approx 30 to 40 hours is what it takes. We run this on an average 1 hour per day, the session, to cover all these topics that we are talking about. So in this, what we will do, we, as there are many working professionals as well, we need to see what is the best timing works for everybody. So that timing we can adjust a little bit. Currently, what we are planning is like, so 11 a.m. IST is what we are planning. So on 3 days in a week, like Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So these are the timelines that we are planning currently to frame this particular program to cover the above topics. or the above skills that is required for you to easily manage next interview. Now, those who enroll for this course and what are the things that you can expect. So certainly you are going to get these many things to be covered. Apart from that, you are also going to get some free perks, those who register for my sessions. Like let's say I'm going to provide at least two mock interviews, which will help you to judge along with the mock interview what I'll provide. I'll also share a feedback where you are exactly standing and what are your areas that you need to improve it. That I'll share particularly for you to develop yourself. So from the time you start, if you want to take more than two mock interviews, I'm happy to give that as well. So without any additional charges. Generally, I charge approx 500 to 600 rupees per one session or a one mock interview to take the interview and also to provide you the feedback where you are exactly standing, what are the areas that you need to improve. So I'll provide at least 2 to 3 mock interviews for you until you become comfortable. So which is going to be an absolutely free, or I would say once you enroll in my course, this is by default, it is covered in your training program. Okay. And along with that, you will also get your resume preparation support, like I mentioned, which I'm not going to charge again anything additional for this. If somebody who is looking for it separately, that is completely charged differently. But in this program, I'm supporting our students, whoever is enrolling for it, without any extra charges. And you will also get dedicated mentoring. So you will get dedicated mentoring from me personally. Whenever you have any questions related to your journey until you land in a job, I'm happy to support you until you become a perfect or a confident person. Okay, you will get this dedicated mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, where I'll help you until you gain that confidence to face the interview and also until you land into a job, which is again no extra cost for all these things that you are going to get. And on top of that, you will also get an access to a large network of SAP consultants. So within our network, whoever is already working as a consultant, which is going to be added advantage for you. So the network support, particularly the SAP consultants, whenever you are facing any issue or you need any help, you just ask this forum. This forum will help you with the knowledge whatever they gained with their experience. Okay, that is just an additional community support that you can expect it here. And also what we will do, we will also provide you some more uh, as a bonus. You can expect some standard templates. Somebody who needs some standard templates until you join in any project. Majority of us don't know how those project the templates looks like. If I want to prepare business blueprint, what is the template to be used? If I want to document my testing results, what is the template that I need to use? Or if I want to document certain things, maybe the configuration document or any other document, are there any templates? Are there any FSD templates which I need to use? Are there any specific format I need to follow to write a FSD? All those templates will share it here. And all the templates and also certain project documentations that you need, we'll provide all those documentations also, project documentations, which is absolutely everybody will appreciate on this thing because majority of the people whoever completed training, they don't get the opportunity to see what is functional specification document. Maybe there are some students who completed from us already the previous batches. They know what we have explained in a classes. They know already the at least all these templates. They get access to all the templates like functional specification documents and also all the configuration documents and your BPML documents, KDS documents, and also business blueprint templates and your business workshop templates and the BRD documents, whatnot. Almost all important documents, whatever we use in a project, they get access to, which are like your real-time project templates. We provide all those templates absolutely at free of cost for this students who enroll with us. So this is most important thing. Then you might be interested to know what is the cost of this overall entire program, right? So as it is one of the valuable program, even after you complete your training, what if you are not able to crack an interview, right? So people might be spending a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and even after that, they still face certain challenges to crack this interview. So if any one of our students wanted to enroll for this, the previous students, they will absolutely get it at free of cost. They don't be charged anything for this course, or by default it has been covered in the training program. If somebody who completed and they are not yet confident and they need some more refresher, they can join at free of cost. If our students who are still in our training program, I would say they may not require, because by default all these things are covered in their training program. If somebody who completed their training from outside and they wanted to join here, so we are charging particularly for them. So because it's a completely a new program for them, so we need to spend that 30 to 40 hours of time with them and help with all these things whatever we completed here. So to cover all this, along with all these things whatever we are providing, so let me say these are all your perks what you get it. And we charge approx 10,000 rupees is what we are charging. But you don't need to pay all this 10,000 absolutely in case you are interested. So in this 10,000 also you get a lot of discount. Up to 3,500 rupees discounts are available depending on the conditions. What are those conditions? Just as a community support, if you guys are going to support our community to grow our community, so just ask our team how to get that more discounts. They will help you with that. Up to 3,500 you can get it. Okay. So this, for this particular, depending on, there are multiple tasks, or I would say different things what you may need to complete or comply with, only then you will get these discounts. Otherwise the charges will be 10,000 for this course, for this overall tenure that we are going to charge. Okay, you can reach out to our team for further questions. You might already received an email while registering. So what are the things you are going to, I mean, uh, what are the contact point which is available in that email, which is your email ID, or I can also share you one more time. So just give me a second. So there is a contact number and email ID both where you can talk to our team. So let me share that with you all now. There is our WhatsApp channel also, our WhatsApp group where community of our SAP Learning Hub. In case somebody who is not yet part of that SAP Learning Hub, feel free to join that, where you get that support from all other consultants, and you will also receive our regular updates from us regarding any other uh, updates that we are doing it. Currently, in case somebody who don't have these contact details, here is our official contact information where you can reach out. Any payments also, we will share the communication from this WhatsApp number for you to be communicate or to share any official contact information. Okay, those who need to join our uh, channel or the community help. So I'll paste that link of SAP Learning Hub in the chat session now, so that those are interested can join our community to get that benefits of it. We'll also send all the official communication in that particular group. And in case you guys have any specific questions, feel free to ask me any questions that you have it. Maybe you guys can raise your hands so that I'll go in that sequence, which will make it more easy for me to handle that. Any specific questions that you have with respect to whatever we discussed now. Yeah, Patan, please go on.
Hi, sir. So when will you going to start the new course, the duration to?
Okay, this we are expecting to start maybe in a next 1 week max. So maybe from, not immediately from tomorrow, but yeah, maybe by next Sunday or a Monday, we are going to initiate this.
So where do
Like,
you need to register? The
so
same.
before that, yeah, I'll send that communication with all the registered participants. Hope all of you are registered and we have your email ID and contact number, whatever the number and email that you had given. You might also receive a link to join today's session, right? On the same email ID, you will get all the communication about how to register and everything. and we will send you the link for a registration, and you can complete that registration and that by making that payment and everything. We will send that communication through email and WhatsApp both.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patan. If anyone else has any other questions, you guys also can refer to our testimonials, which has been already pasted in the chat session. What other students are talking about our programs, how they feel about our training programs, about whatever we have already delivered. So there are many happy students who are already joined with majority of the big MNCs, including Big Fours like Infosys, PwC, EY, and Capgemini. There are many companies our previous students have joined. Okay, you can hear directly from their opinion what they are talking about it. Okay, in case you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out on this number so that our team can help you with answering any questions that you have. Hope you guys found it something informative but as a part of your journey. And I wish you all the best, those who are preparing on their own and somebody who need a help. We are looking forward to connect with you all to make your journey very smooth. Okay. If no other questions, I think thank you so much everyone for joining today. And I wish you a very happy weekend ahead and see you soon all in our live sessions of our project preparations.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Arun.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.